I remember me being in the streets. So I'm like, okay, what attracted me? Because I wasn't no bad kid. Like, even when I ran away, I wasn't breaking into houses, fighting. I always been somebody low-key somewhere with a woman getting money. That's like, like if people that know me now and know me at 15, like,
What's up with it, world? We back again, once again. Tapped in. You know what I'm saying? I'm Mouse to the South. I'm Corey Wolf.
I'm Brandon Walton.
We got a special guest on here, man. Special guest. He's a real good pillar for the community, man. His name is Tony, and he finna tell us a little bit about what he got going on. We're gonna talk about why it's so important for us to be here and, you know, try to open up the doors for the youth by the way we represent ourselves as well. So we finna get right into it, man. Tell us a little bit about it, man.
oh man, I appreciate y'all, bringing me on. You know what I'm saying? Been knowing B for some years now since I had my little food truck on the side of the so since day one we've been locked in since day one. You know,
Hustler.
Real
hustler.
He on his grind too.
By any means.
By any means, man. You know, we got to.
Hold on, let me tell you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead with
We're gonna give him his flowers right here real quick.
Let's get
So
it.
he a mentor, a teacher,
Okay.
got bee farm, chicken farm,
Okay.
school,
Open the House of Resources, thrift store, barbecue sauce dropping next week.
barbecue sauce,
Potato salad coming
this
out next
dude.
week.
potato salad.
Okay.
Book
Got his
just
own
dropped.
water.
Yeah.
His book is on Amazon.
Okay.
Clothing line.
Hey, man.
Rap label.
Yeah, really the real
Studio.
records. Yeah.
Wow.
This man living legend for real. He that real deal.
Man. Hey, man, I salute that.
And that's why I keep bringing you up to him. Bringing
love,
you up to him.
That's love, man.
So you deserve your flowers while you
Appreciate
here.
that, but
You know what I'm saying?
Like I say, I tell a lot of people, they be like, you do a lot. But, you know, like I did on my podcast, I did a thing about building a nation, right?
Right.
So when you're building a nation, my rules of building a nation, we got to be able to feed ourselves, house ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves, employ ourselves, and then protect it.
Yeah.
So I'm into a lot of things because to build a nation, you got to be able to cover those sectors. I just took over. I ain't gonna say take over. I just took the business part over of Shield of Valor. Executive Protection is an executive protection company out of Las Vegas, so that's part of the protection.
Okay.
The bees and the chickens. Now we finna move the cows and meat chickens and all that. That's the feed yourself part.
Okay.
I'm in the real estate, so you know what I'm saying. That's the being able to house yourself and all that part.
Right,
You know what I'm saying. So
right.
everything and clothe ourselves. Like, it's cool. I love that all my shirts and stuff brands, but you know what I'm missing?
What's
I
that?
need a cotton field. Because it's cool buying a shirt and then putting my logos on it, but I
Right.
need to be able to take it from the ground to the
Right.
clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You
So
getting it all.
way.
You
and
getting
that's
everything.
what we be missing
Yeah.
out, and that's what I like to teach the youth at the CL Youth League, right? Because we don't know nothing about producing and distributing. We don't like Dr. Claude Anderson's always say, black people don't produce nothing but sweat. That's all we produce.
Right.
And that's why we get disrespected. That's why we get handled the way we get handled, because anybody can stop us from eating, stop us from working because
Right.
they have the powers. But who can we stop from eating, working? Who can we?
Nobody.
We can't we can't disrupt nobody's world because we don't own nothing. We don't
That's
have no
so
distribution lines. We don't have nothing. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
real.
So that's the mindset that I put into the youth, but not just the youth, just anybody that I'm connected to. Like, I connected to Brandon because I see the hustle, I see the grind, and I see, okay, he a barber for sure, cold with that.
Yeah.
But he's a billionaire, businessman,
Yeah,
strategist,
yeah.
and all that too.
Yeah.
On top of that,
Appreciate
that.
But see, a lot of us will just get stuck with, I'm cold at being a barber. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I love about him, because he do it and he know he good at it.
Yeah.
But he always plotting on the next
Yeah,
hustle,
yeah.
on the next
Yeah.
grind, on the next
Gotta
business.
That's what he always
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
That's what I
Say
say.
you
Yeah.
Jamaican,
Man,
nigga.
1,000 hats. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
I
what
had
we gotta be.
a conversation with him. We was talking about like working in your gift.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never really felt like I knew what my gift was, because I feel like I'm good at a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
right.
cool.
And I'm like, I didn't know if it was like kind of arrogant
Nah.
or like I wasn't disciplined enough. And he was like, man, you looking at it wrong. Like, you know, God may give you one gift, but he may give him 10. He may give you 12. And I had never thought of it like
That's-
that.
that's
Because my dad
true.
always tells me, you need to
That's
focus
true.
on one
I'm
thing. You
about
all
to say
over the
too,
place.
because that's the programming that we
That's
get.
what
And that
I was
be in
about
my
to
head
say.
still, like, maybe
That's what
I
was just
am.
about to-
Focus on one
That's
thing,
what we
do
were
this,
saying.
I'd be like, maybe I'm dividing my attention up too many places. Like, maybe he right. But I'm like, I feel so
it
contained.
can get to a point, but like, it can get to a point where you're not you're doing a lot of things and not taking care of one. Because I was at that point before.
I've
been the way I do a lot of stuff now. I used to do a lot of stuff, but I wasn't taking care of business with a lot of
halfway
stuff.
finished.
You know what
stuff.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
so once you master the art, okay, I'm gonna do a book. So I'll make sure that book complete before I write a movie. And I got a movie that we gonna film next month. But I had all this stuff wrote up 2 years ago, but I wasn't completing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's the thing about it. Like, there's nothing wrong with having multiple hats, because ain't nobody gonna tell you if you was working 2 jobs and working overtime at them jobs, everybody be telling you a good hard working black.
They love to praise that
because you working for them.
Everybody say you crazy
because you working for them. But the thing is this, man. Like he was just saying when we was just talking about how you having all these multiple hats. At the end of the day, man, if you penetrating in those areas and what you doing is going to be something that's going to inspire somebody else, it don't matter how many hats you got. Because think about it like this: stuff you doing for the youth, the stuff we doing with our podcast, the things we got going on the side that we trying to bring and create, and we going out and talking to the youth, we showing them multiple ways that they can do things without being stuck on focus on just the streets or just the things that's going to take them away from their gift. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the whole reason why I started CEO Youth League. Like, I talk about it a little bit in this book, but I started running away at 11 years old, right? At 12, 13, I was gone for good. I had my first apartment at 14. I see my first 100,000 at 15.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I know that our kids, I know what attracted, because I know what attracted me. I wasn't no street dude. I wasn't ever like trying to be this big gangster, this and that. The reason the streets got me because the guy said, man, you want to make some money? Come here. But what if that same guy would have said, hey, man, you want to flip some stocks? Come here. You want to flip a house? I could have been a millionaire at 20.
That's
true. But I met the street dealer instead of this. So when I came over to CEO Youth League, I said, I want to be that same dude on the street corner that these kids run to, but I'm just going to give them a whole different game. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's real important what he said. Because, you know, if he would have been, let's say if he would have been white in a different community, but he had that same hunger bug, strike him, that business, that entrepreneurship bug that bites us. But his representative in front of him would have been somebody that ran a grocery store, or you know what I'm saying? Because it's a different community.
Fortune 500
and that's who he would have ran to and been underneath instead of a dope boy.
That's very true, man. Because you know, like when it comes to the community and things of that nature, when you think about it like this, like how we was talking about how there's a domino effect from the caste system. All that shit plays out to that. And it pushes you in the corner. You got blacks over here, Mexicans over here, then you got the people that's fortunate with all the money over here. So we only gonna adapt to what we seeing at all times. And for you to take that and for you to flip that with the way you know what I mean? Like then if a hustle is whatever, like if you can flip it in your mind, you can flip it in your hand. You feel me? So if I gotta get out here and I gotta take the same hustle that I had when I was selling drugs or whatever I was doing, and I gotta sell shirts or put books out or whatever it is you doing, like it's the same. Take that same drive and motivation and make that happen. And you know we gotta do that. We gotta be that example because it was something. Let me. I want to ask y'all something. Because I gotta point this out since I'm on this subject right now, man. I want to point this out, man, because I want to get y'all. It was a statement I had, or I said it. In order for our children to grow wiser, stronger, and more elevated than us, we have to reteach them from a standpoint that we wasn't taught.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We give them the same thing we was taught. We'll be the next generation we'll be feeding them to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
And that's what I be trying to tell a lot of adults. Like, even if you didn't do it, you see how your life's panned out. Don't push these kids to do it.
Tell them the same thing.
And you know the result. You know the result.
You know the result because you're living in the result. You wake up every day 50, 60 hating your job. You wake up every day, you know what I'm saying, going through the motions. And that's really, like, my last job probably was about, I'm 40 years old, man. I done worked probably 4 or 5 jobs my whole life because, like I say, I seen so much money young. Even when I tried to do right, I ain't working for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do right in my heart. It's hard. It's hard, bro. And that's what they don't understand about these kids. A lot of these kids want to do right, but okay, a boy on the corner showed me how to make $1,000 a week. I need to work for 2 weeks at McDonald's to
Just
get
to make this
$600 or something.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
and then you gonna tax that
You gonna
too.
tax that,
For real,
and then I gotta
for
pay
real.
for the ride and pay for all that.
Yeah,
like,
I
I
end
got
up with 2.
You know what I'm saying? So we gotta show
true,
them.
man.
You gotta make it make sense.
We gotta make
Yeah.
it. That's what I'm saying. We gotta make it make sense instead of blaming. Like, oh, they just doing this, they doing that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I always turn it on them. So what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
what have you did? You know, like. When I get older, I'll be able to say things. Why? Because I'm building institutions right now. Because
Yeah.
I'm impacting people right
Right,
now. Like
right.
one of my favorite stories is a lady last year told me. She said I snuck in there to see what my kids was doing, and they was in there playing like they ran a business. She said, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm thankful because my kids ain't never played like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine when we was young, the last thing we was playing about is how to run a business. We was
true.
how ain't go get it. We was doing all kind of stuff, but it
Yeah,
definitely
for
wasn't.
sure.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
definitely
Well,
wasn't
nothing
no
business
running a business.
structure.
Yeah.
That's real, that's
You know what
true,
I'm saying?
man.
So right
Yeah.
there, that's a sample, but that's changing the narrative. That's planting the seeds. You know what I'm
gotta
saying?
govern.
Like,
We gotta get back to governing, man.
We got to.
Like, you know, we say it. I stress it.
He
all
say
the
that
time.
all the
I say it
time.
all the time. I remember growing up when Miss Johnson would whoop your ass for
Yeah.
stealing something out the
Yeah.
store, or being in the street, or doing something you ain't got no business. Call your mama and say, I whooped such and such. I'm sending them home to you right now. You get home, you get another whooping,
Yeah.
and they tell the person who whooped you, thank you.
Yeah.
But see, when we was doing that, you got to think. In
Those
order for the youth to care or give a fuck about anything, they got to know that we give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Simple and plain. Because once we gave up on them and just like you said, playing the blame, that these youngsters ain't, they ain't ready. They don't listen. They out of control. We got to get out there and govern them. Hey man, I see you out here doing this, but you know you can do this, and
That's it. That's
you know
all
what I'm
they
saying.
need.
Get out, drop a little jewels on them and walk away.
You know, it's a
know what
lot
I'm saying?
easier
Walk
to
away.
just say, oh, these young niggas out here doing this and that, and then your homeboy be like, yeah, man, you know, just, man, fuck, and then you just leave it alone, and just leaving them alone is not the answer.
That's not gonna help.
That's why it's getting
That's
worse
not
and worse,
giving
because
them
so many that don't
yeah.
want to get their hands dirty.
They feel like this, like, well, shit, they giving up on us. They don't care about us, so why should we even care? Now it's like this. It's like, say you got a teacher, right? You got a teacher in the class, and the teacher said, okay, guys, I'm finna leave out the class for an hour.
Yeah.
I want y'all to be good, do y'all work and all that. That teacher gonna come back in an hour. That class gonna be tore up. None of them doing their work.
Yeah.
Nobody's there to teach them. Nobody's there to guide them and give them the direction that they need to go the direction that they need to go to be successful. So we got to look at it like that. We got to look at ourselves, blame ourselves in a sense. We got to blame
Got
ourselves.
to. And that, like, Randy,
You know what
you
I'm
came
saying?
to the Black Man Brunch last year, and that's what I always tell black men, that we got to take control of our community.
Right.
It's not asking your woman or asking the women, can we do it? No, this is what we doing. We got to lead the way.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
We're so submissive to the system, our women,
Yeah.
everything, because we've been taught that. And like I tell the black men, when your woman cuss you out or whatever, most of us let it ride. Why? Because we was raised by single mothers that talk crazy to us and whooped us. So we kind of used to a woman
That's
getting
true.
out, going out. But
That's
in
true.
any other culture, that's not.
No,
that's
not
a
at
no-go.
all.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But in our culture, we understand it because
Right.
I mean, we let it ride because my mama did that, so I guess that's a woman's
It's kind of like,
a
them
woman
same
thing.
effects
Yeah, you
come
just
on
chalk
you.
it up
Yeah, you
and
just
keep
chalk
it
it
moving.
up.
It is,
But
yeah.
that's abnormal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it is, it is.
But it's also abnormal that the men don't have the power. Like, we want our women to follow our lead, right? But our women know at the same time, well, you got to go to the same system to get a check that I got to go to.
Yeah,
So
Right.
really, and I told one of my partners, he got hot at me. I'm like, you're not the man of your household. He's like, what you mean? What you mean? I am the man of my household.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, your boss run your house. He went off. I'm like, okay, if your boss fire you today, you ain't getting no nookie until you get a new job. If he
Right.
if he give you a raise, she gonna give you
Yeah.
the business
Hey,
tonight.
but-
So
I
really,
never
he in
looked at it
control.
like that.
He in control of what your
Yeah.
household.
I
If
never
y'all up
looked
or
at it like
down,
that. I never
For
looked
real.
at
yeah,
it
he
like
in control of that,
Right.
bro. So it ain't. That's not saying don't have a job. That's saying
Yeah.
while you at that job, you should be plotting
should
on that
be
next
plotting
plan.
on your-
you
on
should
your
be building
move
like,
to
I'm taking your
financial
check.
freedom.
Your check is for the fund this. Your check is for the fund
For
that.
financial
So your
freedom,
wife
bro.
can see that. Oh yeah, he worked, or your girl can see he worked. But
Yeah.
he got a plan. He
What
got
are
a
you
vision.
doing different than the next man?
Yeah.
What
See,
you doing
women
different than the
attracted
next
to
man?
vision. Women attracted
Yeah.
to, but it's not a lot of that in our community. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Right.
and it shouldn't be no abnormal thing like the conversation we be having. That should be
Yeah.
normal, but it's abnormal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
like,
true.
and
That's true.
and that's what we got to make normal. Like the stuff I'm doing with the kids, it's abnormal around here, but it really should be normal. Like kids should know about assets and liabilities.
Right.
At a young
8
age.
years
we
old.
We know rap songs. We know, you know what I'm saying? They know
Twerking
everything.
and all this other shit.
Dr.
half
Boyce
of-
Watkins said your kids should already know like a basic understanding of stocks at 8.
Yeah, basic.
I said, damn, at 8?
But look, bro, let me tell you, my first CEO Youth League event, it was like 22 kids. 12 of them became investors that day. And what I always tell people with these kids, our kids, especially in the inner cities, they want to be cool, hip, and real.
Right.
That's just part of our culture. We want to feel like we're cool, hip, or real, right? So what I told them is, I see everybody got on J's. I'm like, okay, so everybody at school got on J's, so what'll make you cooler than the other people with J's on? If you had a Nike stock. So don't even tell your parents, don't even buy you no J's unless they buy you a stock. So now you cooler than everybody on campus because you walking around in a shoe that you own.
Yeah.
These kids ain't never even been told that before.
That's real though.
At that event, they was Cash App and whatever. The parents were right there buying their first Nike stock. So all of them that had J's on bought a Nike stock that day, or a piece of one, or whatever they bought. You know.
Right.
But the fact is, it's in their head and they know.
They can even, you know, we can go to another level and they can even create their own shoe.
Yeah.
Everybody
that's why I said
J's, you know what I'm saying?
He's working on his own shoe right now.
You know what I'm saying?
We got to show them that over and over again. I tell the youth that don't wait on the opportunity to create one.
Right.
Like right now, the building I just got, that's $295,000. My bank and my investors 2 weeks ago told me no.
Yeah.
Wait, because I own 4 properties. I got a lot of different businesses and stuff, but I've never in my life did credit, and I never in my life asked for a bank loan. I did all this off if I need something, okay, we're going to print up 100 shirts. We're going to print up this. We're going to have a bake sale. That's my mind because I'm outside of the system. I don't want to, I really don't feel comfortable asking for no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels weird. You know what I'm saying? Like last night at that pitch competition, I told him, I said, this is the first time I went in front of anybody talking about give me some money, because if I want $3,000, I just set up bake sales and I set up shirts, and that's the way I raise it. But I'm saying that to say that we got to be able to just produce our own stuff, but we got to be able to lead and show them that this is what we do. Instead of working, like quit consuming and working and be producers. Like you coming out with your own shoe, so we should have a class with kids seeing the process of that. That'll inspire the next person with a shoe. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, blowing your brand up because, oh man, it's a black man in the community with his own shoe, teaching the youth how he doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that takes your brand up to another level. At the same time, you passing that gift on, and that ideal. That's bigger than anything. It's the ideal.
Yeah.
When I tell parents like how much it is to get in the CEO Youth League, it's free because it's levels where you're gonna have to pay for this class or that class. But overall, I do mostly free food. I mean, they always eat for free with me. But most of the things I do are for free because it's about inspiring them.
Right.
Like I got a 12-year-old right now. Raya, she has adults have paint and silk with the art and alcohol.
Yeah.
She have a paint and juice. So one of my first events at the news place gonna be Raya's paint and juice, where she's a 12-year-old kid that I pay her to come and teach a class that day, and they do their thing. Everybody got juice and cookies and stuff. It's just a child.
It's like a kid version of painting with a twist.
That's what it is.
That's pretty dope.
But that
though.
first one last year inspired so many kids that now they want to paint because they seen her. And I bought her first 4 or 5 paintings. People like, why you buying them up? Because I know where this going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep these in the vault. I'm gonna keep these. I got the original ones in the vault. Yeah.
Think about it like this, bro. You know, not to cut your wisdom, man, because I'm listening to you, and as I'm listening to you, man, you got a lot. You really showing them a lot, man, by just simple things like that. Some people look at it like, oh, that's giving the kids something to do, stay out the trouble and this and that. No, it's deeper than that. You helping them tap in. You helping them tap into their creativity. That might be the next Kid Picasso. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You don't know who
I believe that. That's why. That's why her first 4 or 5 is in my house.
Yeah,
I really
that
believe
might be
that's
25 million in 25 years.
I really believe that in my heart. Like,
and
she's selling right now $50 to $75 original paintings. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
dope.
right now, 12
That's
years
dope,
old.
bro. Yeah.
So just stuff like that. I got a kid writing a book. I got another one talking about being a chef, and you know, it's just about inspiring. And they might change over the years, but the fact that they know that I can be this or I can do this if I want to, or I can invest, just the fact I didn't know this till I was 30.
Think about it.
If somebody would have told me this at 10, like that same guy that gave me a pack at 10 would have told me about all the stuff I'm teaching kids now,
that's so real.
it'd have been over. Because even if
about
I would have
it.
went to the streets, all that money, I see my first 100,000 at 15. I could have invested that. Man, at 15,
but you didn't know nothing about investing.
Bro, if I'd have
getting
had
all the
this
shiny
shiny
stuff. He want the shiny stuff. He want the shiny.
I have
Bro,
a half
this
a
dude
million.
have a bill
let me
right
ask you
now.
this. Let me ask you this.
Easy, bro.
Let me ask you this, man, because you know, How do y'all feel about this, man? Like the fact that we're inspiring them, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like you don't have to think like me, but just think. And the thing is this. That's the name of my book, y'all. It's coming.
Shameless plug.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Gotta do it.
Don't think like me,
Coming
just think.
soon on
You know
Amazon.
what I'm saying? But like, it's all about like making a person think. If you thinking for yourself and not the way the system wants you to think, not the way the person next to you wants you to think, you tapping into your own creativity.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing, like with what you doing. And like I said, I can respect it and I salute it because it's going to give them an open, like you said, even if they get old and say, I don't want to do that no more. I'm maneuvering through this life with my own thoughts and my own ambitions. No one's controlling how I drive myself. I'm controlling myself by my own thoughts. So looking at it from that perspective, that's dope as fuck.
Nah, that's
I love it, bro. That's dope.
That's how we gotta do it, man. And we just gotta keep repeating it. Like I said, that started because I remember me being in the streets. So I'm like, okay, what attracted me? Because I wasn't no bad kid. Like even when I ran away, I wasn't breaking into houses, fighting. I always been somebody low key somewhere with a woman getting money. That's like like if people that know me now and know me at 15, like they've been calling me an old man since I was 15. Like I literally lived basically the same life from 15 to now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's we gotta show them that that's cool. Like when I take them out there with the chickens and the bees, like. They need to see a face like this, mouth full of gold, playing with chickens and selling eggs, and like this is cool. That's why my podcast is called Wealth is Gangsta, because I want them to know this is gangster. Like y'all starting y'all podcast, two black men coming together. That's gangster. You know what I'm saying? And like I tell a lot of dudes, like I was talking to this guy in Killeen, ex-street guy. I'm an ex-street guy. He tapped in with his community. I'm tapped in with mine, right? So what we saying is like, if we was both hustling, what we'd have did? Let's plug it up from Killeen to Temple. Well, let's plug it up from Killeen to Temple on some positive stuff. Let's take the same street.
It's weird that people don't think that way.
Yeah, let's plug it up. But we just on positive stuff though.
It works both ways.
Yeah, you're gonna make more coming together.
Yeah, that's it.
Great minds think alike. But I seen. I think it was on one of your social media pages. I don't know if the guy you talking about right now might be my dude too. Potential.
Yeah.
Potential. 4-1 Potential. That dude right there, man. He went down in the feds for a long time. We was out there in the streets then, and he went down for a long time. And he came out. He started doing Family First Day. Yeah. And, he was shouts out to Potential, man. Shouts out.
He just texted me about that, so we about to do some plugging in together. That's what I'm saying.
Potential, man.
Let's benefit both because I'm from Temple. Well, I was born in Bartlett, but I've been in Temple since I was 9, right?
Yeah.
But I'm for like CO Youth League is for the world. Like it's not no Temple thing.
It's
like,
on go. Right
Can you tell them what CEO Youth League is so they can get some info on that?
CEO Youth League. You can go to www.ceo-youthleague.com. You know what I'm saying? Like it's basically an entrepreneur business mindset school. It's we're right now teaming up with like homeschoolers. We're gonna have after school programs, mentorship. But my thing is. We teach financial literacy. We teach knowledge of self. We teach a lot of things, credit. We teach a lot of kids stuff that most of our kids don't never get. But the main thing is about giving them more options, right? Because we got 99% of our kids told to what? Sports.
Right.
But only half of 1% will ever see a professional check. So it's kind of like we setting our own kids up for failure. Because at 18, when 98, 99% of them realize that I ain't gonna make it. I ain't going to college. Because all they life they've been told they're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever told them, well, it is a possibility. It's a million kids trying to get 300 jobs. So it is a slight possibility that you might not make it.
On top of the
Instead of being real
miseducation.
with them, and you can still play sports. You can still play sports.
Right.
But let me give you this game about business. Let me start you a business right now. Let me start you an investing right now.
Right.
So even if you don't make it, you'll be good. But even if you do make it, most players end up what? Broke because they don't know nothing about money. Right. They go get somebody else from a different community to run their money, and they looking like Usain Bolt right now when somebody run off with the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even if you're lucky to be the half of 1% that make it, you still need financial literacy.
That's true.
You still need to be, and even before the financial literacy part, I teach knowledge of self because most of these kids are broken, so I need to tap in and build up their confidence about who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why the subtitle of the book is "Don't be a product of your environment. Make your environment a product of you." Right. So, because if I'm in the projects, right, and I'm in a small room struggling, and I'm thinking like my environment. I'm thinking about robbing. I'm thinking about all the bad stuff. But if I'm in the same room, but I'm over here tapped in podcast, or I'm listening to Is Gangsta Podcast,
Right.
I'm listening to Dr. Boyce, even though I'm in them same predicaments,
Right.
my mind is somewhere else. So and that's what I'm trying to say. The mindset is really what changes you. So the environment is, you can be in a bad environment, but if you got the right mindset, you're gonna make it up out of that. The problem is most of us don't have that mindset because our youth, they crash out because they like mama gone, daddy in jail, or they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm tired of the lights, I'm starving.
Effect,
you know what I'm saying? Like the only meal I get is at school, and that ain't even no good meal, but that's the only meal I get. Like that leads you to make bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell this story because a lot of people always talk about these kids. They're bad kids, or they just out of control. They like I get it. My partner that I'm burying tomorrow, Steve P. That's my partner of 30 years. That's the first guy I wanted to be like. That's the first guy that I want to emulate in the streets. I used to wear my blue Dickies. I never became a Crip like him, and that's one thing he always told me. Like, man, you young and you kind of like follow me, but you still think on your own. Like, because most youngsters at 10, 11, 12, the big homie say, get down with the set. You getting down with the set.
Right.
I told him at 11, 12 years old, like, nah. I said, man, I see real and fake on both sides. I'm going to stay neutral. You know what I'm saying? At 12 years old, I told my big homie that. You know what I'm saying? And he just told me I loved you from that day because he built the respect. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we got to do. We got to empower to think different, but we got to empower these kids that, okay, even in that bad situation, it's some positive. Because then you got mentors like this in the neighborhood. You got a house of resources that you can tap into. They feed you.
That's
they
dope.
gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like
I can't wait to get myself structured with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I'm definitely gonna show up.
We
finna
be always tapped in with that.
That's dope, man.
But I did it because what? I was doing one event a month, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's a good-hearted gesture.
Right.
But our kids are drowned. They flooded with negativity 24/7.
Right.
If we not matching that negative, we gonna lose them. Like same thing I tell these people. Like a lot of people like, well, black men only show up to mentor kids for football and basketball season, which is true. It's hard for me to find black men that want to do this on a daily thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
So our kids, but where I went to the streets from 11 to 12, football season, I was being good. Most of our kids do. They be good. They try to get their grades because they want to play.
Right.
By the time next football season came, I ain't care about no school, no teacher, nothing, because I had made too much money in the streets and I wasn't listening no more.
Right.
So they lost me within that year. But if they had programs, they had resources, they had black men that stayed with me that whole year and mentored me, and no telling, I probably would have stayed on the right path. So they lost me because they didn't care about nothing after sports. And that's the thing I'm trying to change. We gotta, and most parents, if you got 4 kids, just being real, if you got 3, 4 kids, the one that's the star in football or basketball or volleyball,
you're gonna focus on.
That's the one you focus on. Yeah. But what about the one that like a reading contest or spelling bees or want to write their own book?
Ain't putting no
it
money
ain't that you don't
behind
love them, but you ain't gonna give them that same attention and that same with your money, right?
That funding,
My first event, it was sprinkling outside, bro. Like literally sprinkling.
Right.
I had with the sun out sprinkling, not like sprinkling where it's dark and it's about to storm.
Yeah.
Sun out sprinkling. I had parents call me say, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. I'm talking about the same parents that would drive through a tornado to get to a football tournament for their kid. Told me they don't know about the weather. It's sprinkling. They ain't gonna be able to make it to an entrepreneurship meeting. Inside meeting. So what does that tell a kid though? That tell a kid that, hold on, mama drove through a storm to get me to that football game. But she made up an excuse when the sun out and it's sprinkling to go to entrepreneurship class. So that's not important. Yeah. That's what you teaching the kid at a young age. You teaching them what's important. Now well, sports only important, so I'm only focused on sports.
Right.
So then you set them up because most of these kids ain't gonna never make it in sports. That's just the reality. That ain't my fault. I don't want them to. I want them all to make it, but they ain't. Yeah. So who gonna be real about the numbers and the situation is what I always be saying.
That's true.
And a lot of parents take it personal because they was that person. A lot of parents, and I had a couple of them tell me, bro, you telling the truth. I was mad my daughter and my son quit sports because you wanted them to make it because you trying to live through them. Mm-hmm. But you got to be real with you. You didn't make it. Every black person I know can name 20 people that they went to school with that we said should have made it.
Right.
How many actually made it?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are the numbers, man. So when we gonna say the numbers are the numbers. Y'all can play football, but football gonna be fourth on the list. You're gonna be in this entrepreneurship class. You're gonna be on this mindset class. You're gonna be learning how to grow. You're gonna be learning trades, and then you can play football. You can still do all that. Ain't tripping on that, but it's gonna come third or fourth. Not with us. It's football or nothing. My kid gonna go all the way. They going to the pros.
Camp.
See, it's like,
you
know, it's like some. I noticed like you got a lot of parents. They try to put their failures off that they failed in and try to make it a success through their kids. But the thing is, man, like, you know, when I heard you saying earlier, like they'll put so much in one kid and not this in this kid because this kid might just do a spelling bee.
Yeah.
This one might play sports. You know what I mean? But I always say this, and Brandon heard me say it before. We got to love our kids, man. All our kids. We love them the same, but in different ways.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's because they all have different personality traits. So I got to be able to tap into you in this way, and I got to tap into you in that way. Yeah. But whatever it is that drives you, I got to help you tap into that. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Individually. But we still got to give them all that same kind of love.
And ask them what they want to do. We tell them to play sport. We give them football when they want. They ain't even made no decision yet. They got a Dallas
Cowboys fan.
Yeah, you're a Cowboy fan, and here go your football. The kid looking at you like, man,
they might want to be a doctor though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
You know, and then even with that, like we got to get our kids to the point because we grew up where our parents go to school, get your education, and get you a good job and get you some retirement. Like we grew up like that. Not saying education is not good. Not saying school is not good. But we have to teach them
between school and education.
There you go.
Yeah.
We have to teach them that your job and your work is two different things. Mm-hmm. Your job is some position you go fill. Your work is what you do, the gift that you got to bring out in yourself. Yeah. These are the things that you have to do to make you who you are. And until we help them see that, they going to continue to go down the wrong path, man, because they ain't going to never think for themselves. The system is going to control them.
Which, you know what I'm saying? And it controls most of the parents. That's why they, you know what I'm saying? That's why they do that. If I control the parents, and then the next generation going to be controlled, they don't have to work as hard as keeping us controlled no more because it's already baked in. You know what I'm saying?
It's already in our culture.
Like I told my mom, like, it's not your fault, but you just taught me what grandma taught you. Mm-hmm. And you passed it on to me, but as a black man in this country, that's just a losing strategy. Not that you a bad mom or none. You gave me all you had, but it's just a losing strategy.
You didn't, but see, the thing is, our parents didn't even know they were losing.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They didn't even know they was losing.
They didn't.
You know what I mean?
And some of them still don't. They know they losing and still just won't admit it, or they just like tapped out and just said, forget it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't tapped in, they tapped out. I'm cool. I'm just gonna clock in for the rest of my life. And they'll tell you they hate their job, they this and that. And what used to break me down at one of my 4 jobs I ever had, the most saddest thing that made me terrified is just seeing an old black man just walking around, bad knees, hurting, been working there 20, 30 years.
Slumped over. Ooh, that be getting me.
And still can't quit.
That's crazy.
They used to break my heart at these jobs. Crazy. I'm like, and my last job I had, I think after taxes, I was probably making like 300 or something. It's about like 10, 12 years ago. I'm making like 300 a week. And I was at that CNH Diecast, and I think that's what it's called.
CNH Diecast.
Man, I'm out there on that little kiosk machine. I'm on that little chaos machine or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, $300 a week. I'm like, and that's when I told myself, I said, man, I could sell 30 Riddle and Real shirts, $10 a piece, and make the same $300. When they clicked in my head, I haven't worked since, bro. Like I haven't worked. And if I lose everything I got now, I'm talking about everything. Tomorrow I just start a t-shirt business or something. Like,
so you got something to play off.
I cannot go fill out an application. I'm terrified of having to fill out an application. That's what drives me because that's terrifying.
I gotta stay on top of my shit now.
Like me making this investment and losing, or me starting a business and losing is nothing to me. Me having to go fill out a job application is terrifying. Yeah. I'm talking about like literally. You might think I'm bull jobbing, but I'm serious. I'm terrified of that, man.
Black man got to get to the point where black man, black women, our people, period. We got to get to the point where, man, we making money while we sleep, bro.
That's it.
Yeah. We can't. If you ain't making no money while you sleep, you ain't making no money.
That's the American way. We got to figure it out.
Yeah, you can't keep trading that human labor.
Man.
It's going to run out.
I used to always tell people about a 100-year plan, and I used to like, they don't get it. But then I have to realize, if I'm talking to you about a 100-year plan and you worried about how you going to eat today, you
ain't going to hear me.
It ain't connecting. Right. And that's how the system get us, because we stay, as a whole, we stay in survival mode. How can I plan for 5, 10, 15, 20 years if I'm in survival mode for this week? They know what they doing to us. They keep us in that rat race. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? When you say that, that's deep. That's really deep. I like how you said that because when you think about it like this, it's like we get so focused on the struggle that we forget about the sacrifice. Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the sacrifice is I'm gonna struggle, I'm gonna eat bologna sandwiches for a while.
That's it, bro.
Let me sacrifice. Instead of looking at, damn man, hell no, I need to make sure I got beef, I got some burgers, I got steaks every day. Nigga, I'm trying to get this right now. Instead of looking at like, let me just go through this struggle right now. And eat bologna sandwiches, some chips, embrace it.
Because that's
and
what
then
you're
a
gonna
year or
sit
two
back
from
and
now,
laugh
I'm gonna
at.
be good.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And it's just like working out. You're not gonna hit the gym in one day and be right. You know, it's take a process to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some shirts coming out called Beautiful Struggle. And because like I be having some hell of a days, right? Right. But I understand, I said this on my one of my last podcasts, I was just talking about.
You gotta bring us on, man. Gotta bring us on, man.
I've been trying to get him on.
We gonna have to. We didn't invited you. We didn't invited you on, man. We got to come on, man.
He has brought it up.
Come on, man.
But for real, what we gotta do is we gotta embrace the struggle and realize. Another story I'll tell. I like to tell stories because my life, like when I post stuff, when I post on Facebook, when I do these podcasts, I gotta tell people it's a documentary of me becoming that millionaire billionaire. Like I don't post nothing on Facebook just to post. Like everything is calculated because this is my life. I might post about chickens today, bees today, about my kids today. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all is showing you the process.
Different chapters of your book.
That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta embrace that. Like I was about to say on my last podcast, I was like, man, it's rough. Like this stole, that stole, bills coming. This coming, this go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, just took on a $300,000 investment. Right. So what comes next? Leveling. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always constant something. But like I tell people, if I want to be normal, if I want to live a normal life, I'll be good. Just because the way I always live under my means, I don't overspend. I don't do none of that. So if I want to, but I ask for it more. I stay uncomfortable because I'm going after the mountaintop. So as long as I'm going after the top, then I can't complain about what comes with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we gotta embrace that, man. I want to be here, so whatever. Like the day my partner I was called and said he died. Yeah. That day, 4 or 5 things went bad in business. The world don't care. They don't care. Like the moment you die, it keeps moving. Yeah. So it's all about what kind of impact, what can you leave. You know, and I was telling the guy today, I said Malcolm X died the same year Malcolm X died. Thousands of black men died, but we only remember Malcolm X because of what? His impact. He gonna live forever. That's true. And that's what we gotta. Every day need to be about impact. Because I used to focus about business. But if we focus on impact, the income gonna come. Yeah. Instead of worried about, man, I need to make this money. I need to make this bag. Now I need to change this narrative. I need to do this, and then the money will come.
Yeah. So it's like not to cut your wisdom. When you die, you should still live. Yeah. But when you alive, you shouldn't be dying, bro.
Yeah. And that's what most of us do. Most of us are just living dead people. You know what I'm saying?
Dead. We walking dead.
We dead already, but we just existing. You know what I'm saying? We're not really impacting nothing. We're not changing nothing. Yeah. Like my great grandma died at 94. Love her to death, right? And I think about her time to time. You know, time to time she pop in. Right. But the difference between my grandma that I think about time to time and Walt Disney family line, what's the difference? He left a legacy. They talk about him every day. Not that I don't love my grandma like they love their grandma, but he left something so massive. He left something for the kids. They can't forget. And that's why I tell people in 100 years, I want to be there. Well, great grandpa, great uncle, or whatever. He the one changed the narrative. That's how you live forever, bro. And then you have the trust funds, of course, like the House of Resources. That's gonna be in the trust. That's gonna be ran. 100 years, I'm gonna still be running stuff from my grave because I understand that's what the wealthy do. There's a lot of wealthy white men been dead for 40 years, still running America today. We don't even know. We
think they still alive.
They've been dead.
I said something on I was doing like a little social media, like a little video or something. I was talking about something. And I was saying like one day, like today I might want to be Malcolm. Yeah. Tomorrow I might want to be Martin. The next day, I might want to be Nipsey. I might want to be Pac. I might be,
just
you know what I'm saying? But just the spirits of
Yeah,
that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, as long as we continue to think in that type of way, we're going to always be elevated to the level where we want to inspire somebody else because we want to leave a legacy to inspire.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about, bro.
If we all thinking about leaving legacy, we can't do nothing but benefit our community. The problem is, most as a whole, we don't think about that. We don't think about no legacy.
But look, not to cut your wisdom real quick. I want to say something
go ahead
before you get into it.
Yeah.
And I say it to Brandon all the time. Like, you got so many people that say, man, I ain't worried about these damn kids, these badass kids, or I ain't got time for this, But the thing is, man, you got people in positions with platforms and they not using. Yeah. The thing is this, bro. I might not go out there and protest tomorrow.
I ain't going.
But this platform that I'm using right now, it's still. This is still putting my. This is my percentage. This is his percentage.
Yeah.
Your platform is your percentage of still moving something forward for the people who listening to us, bro. Yeah. And you got people rapping or they doing their podcast. I'm not knocking nobody who do it.
Yeah.
But how many podcasts out there talking about the stuff that they don't want to talk about? That's the stuff that I want to talk about.
The real shit.
Yeah, the real,
That's what I want to talk about.
But it be the people that's not even active doing anything that had the most to say about why you in motion. Like, well, he could have did from a female perspective. Yeah. What are you doing?
Nothing. And that's why I say always consider your source. Like somebody, such and such said about you. Who? Okay, well, it's nothing because who you told me about is not even worth the response, and that's how we got to get into it.
Instead of my radar.
Quick to defend, I defended. You don't need to defend me. I don't need no defense from nobody. Right. Like what I do is defensive enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not worried about that. We got to get out of that quick emotional. Quick, I got to defend myself, my manhood, this and that, and that's what I teach the kids. Like it's cool to walk away from a fight. Of course. Protect yourself at all times, but if you can avoid it, avoid it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to teach that stuff. You know, once again, that's what I put in the book. Like we got to break all those stereotypes of what's real hood and gangster.
That's real. That's
true.
And
when, you know what clicked that to me? I almost threw my life away, and that's when it clicked. I never been a club guy. I just never been one. I went like for every time I've been at a club, it was either
somebody's birthday.
Nah, it was a event. It was a music event, like a music event, or I was getting paid at the door. Okay. Like that was it. Like even when I opened up for 2 Chainz, I'm one of the few people around this area that ever opened up, but I got paid to open up for 2 Chainz.
Right.
Because of my hustle. Most artists got to pay. They say, well, I ain't paying for no stuff. I ain't paying for this. I did. I dropped $800 to open up for 2 Chainz. But what I did was I got $1,200 in tickets from the guy. Okay. So I sold $1,100. So I actually made $300 to open up. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta. It's a hustle. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? Like even I got something coming out about shit. And we got to get out of the numbers and the popularity thing and just do it. Like, even when we talk about music, all these kids want deals and they want streaming numbers. Man, you got to stream like 1 million to get $1,000 or some crazy stuff. Yeah. I'm telling them with a thousand fans that'll spend at least $100 a year with you, you can make 6 figures a year. That's it. Like think like that. Like if you got merch, if you do shows, if you drop an album, if you got 1,000 people that spend $100 throughout the year, might be a shirt here, might be a hoodie here, might be a hat there, might be an album there. Yeah. 1,000 people that'll spend at least $100 with you a year is 6 figures. Yeah. Most rappers with deals don't even make 6 figures a year. They might get a big signing bonus, but over the years they don't make that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying. We gotta stop the way we think, because the way we think is popularity, or what's the most hype, or I want to be on the radio, and all that stuff is cool if you can get there. But if you can make a living off doing that and never get that, like I've had a few 6-figure years with Real and Real records. Right. I ain't never had no hit song. I ain't never did none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't none of that. I got like 60, 70 songs in my catalog. I ain't never even put on Spotify. Like, I'm thinking about doing that now because I still get a check every 3 months from one song I dropped in 2010. I'm like, well, if I get this for one song I dropped 10, 12 years ago, if I just release all these old songs, ain't no telling. And I never promote that. I don't even know who buying it. I don't know who's listening to it, but it's out there in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Right. And we just got to think business-wise, like the numbers. I don't care what everybody doing. If I can get 100 people that'll buy this, I can make this. Just think small, and then they grow from there.
And also, man, another thing too, man, we got to be willing to converse with each other when it comes to our hustle too. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? You might have a certain amount of shirts that you got. You might have 100 shirts of your brand of shirts. I got 100 of my shirts. He got 100 of his. And I give you 100 of mine. You sell them for the price that you was selling yours, and I do the same thing with yours. But see, that's 2 wins.
Cross it up.
Because across the board, we got 2 wins because now I'm putting your stuff out over here in an area you not in, and you doing the same thing for me, and we getting our money back.
Yeah.
But we still
Pulling the
promoting
markets
each other.
together.
Saying, you know, that's what they call it in-house.
In-house banking, or
In-house-
in-house finance.
in-house- somewhat of that.
I just call it group economics. That's
Yeah,
how I
group
call it.
economics.
yeah.
There it
It's
is.
group
There it is.
economics.
Group
We
economics.
just circulating our dollars,
There it
our
is.
resources.
There it is.
And once again,
Yeah.
that's why I came up with the House of Resources, because that's what it's got to be about. We don't have no black think tanks. We don't have none that strategize. Like we don't have no spot. If you just want to go strategize tonight, or you want to have a mixer tomorrow, you got to go call these companies and see if you can get this. Like, and that's why I got frustrated, because I would call the Gober House, the VFW. The last 3 months of last year, they booked. Call them early this year. They booked until March. I'm like, I can't even do no events because the 3 places I always book. And that's why I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to go after this location. Even though I was told not to.
And do all that in your own spot.
Now, you know what I'm saying? It ain't my spot. It's the community spot.
Right.
Because that's what we need. I was talking to a lady today. She was like, oh, congratulations, this and that. I'm like, well, you do wellness and stuff like that, classes, right? That's your spot too. Just let me know what days, and we gon' like, this is a community thing. And other communities got that. They got a community house. They got community centers that everybody's welcome to come and break bread and do this and do that. We don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
we got to go somewhere else, and they gonna charge us up, and you better be done right when that hour over. And woo. House of Resources. Nah, hey, if the slot open, you book it. Boom. Or it ain't got to be no book. It's an idea. We can come and we can just break bread together. It ain't even, you ain't got to have no money. You can just have an idea. Like, okay, with that idea, let's do this play. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got to worry about money, because we got to worry about money because the other people don't care. They just like, if you want this, you know what I'm saying? But now we got a spot where, you know what? I got this event. I ain't got the money up front, but I think we can sell tickets for this. We can do this. We can do that. And we'll break bread together. Boom. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Like,
that's
let's
dope.
run with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Sometimes,
like how
but
you
you know,
think
we
like that.
talked about that, Brandon, when we talked about how some people vision don't be the same. We talk about that all the time. A person's vision ain't the same as yours. They ain't gonna rock with it.
Yeah.
But if you got the same vision and you on that same page, sometimes you gotta look at the rewards that's coming later.
Yeah.
And just keep y'all stay on that same track together. Later on, you gonna look back and be like, hey, remember when we started doing this and when we started here? Now look where we at. You know, it takes time, it takes patience, it takes dedication.
Yeah, and everybody ain't got that. Everybody ain't got, and we got to understand that, and we gotta work with each other, right?
Right.
Like, I done had some business deals that didn't go right, and we kind of went our separate ways. But then we came back because it's never just because we all young with this. We didn't have uncles and grandpas and dads that been doing business, and they showed us how to do business.
Ain't no
and
forefathers.
they showed us about, okay, you might have fallouts, you might have this, but the business is this. We don't know nothing about that, so we still young and emotional. And if somebody get hot headed, we can fall out, but it really wasn't even about nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's the ego in us. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I started looking at
mistakes along the way, man.
yeah, and I started
from
looking at a lot of us, because we grew up in the church background and all this. So if somebody don't have the same religion as you, we don't rock with them. Or if somebody don't think like, and I don't do that. I had to get away from that because I mess with people that go to church 3-4 times a week, and I mess with non-believers. I don't care.
That's me
You know
too.
what I'm saying? Because
That's me
at the
too.
end of the day, it's about your heart. Because
That's
I know
it.
some people in church, the dirtiest is the people
right.
walking. You know what I mean?
Primest
So just you come telling me I'm a Christian, I'm this and that
don't mean
They don't got
nothing.
none of the. Who are you outside of that?
Yeah.
That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Like what you,
think,
believe.
you think putting God on it is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
change the perspective of your character,
Man, I
and that's
see a
not
lot
what
of
it
fake
is.
stuff around here, but it get accepted. Like right now, if I started talking about God more and all this, I probably get more funding. I get more of it. You know, I get more of everything.
Yeah.
But I don't talk. And I'd have had some groups around here that's godly led first with kids. And I tell them I'm not against no kids going to church. If you want to go to church, go to church.
Right.
But if you don't want to go to church, you don't have to go to church
don't have
either.
to.
You can come over
That's-
here and
yeah,
still kick it.
right.
It ain't. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then they look at me like that. I'm like, well, what church do you go to? What you mean? I deal with kids and I'm empowering kids. Don't question me about what church is. Now you asking me what gang do I go to? And if once I tell them I don't go to church and I, you know what I'm saying, this and that.
Heard that,
yeah.
right?
Once I tell them that, then they look at you sideways. It's a couple
that's
youth
the
organizations
separation.
that ain't called me back because I told them, like, I
That's the
don't push
separation,
church on
bro.
my kids, like, because I think that's something you should do on your own. If you go to church, cool. I'm not gonna tell you not to, or not gonna tell you to. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna say if you got to go to church and read the Bible to come to my program.
It's a personal spiritual journey.
And it should be
that we all own.
But it's commercialized now, and it's pushed on us like the jab. You know what I'm saying? It's like the society making you do this stuff, or you're crazy.
It's like what I say. Tradition. It's like a lot of people following church and they going to church. Oh, my such and such been going for 30 years and they raised us this way and whatever, and I'm not knocking it like I said, but don't do it for a traditional reason. Do it for a spiritual reason, because at the end of the day, we all judged alone.
That's it.
So I can go to church all day, be in front of the pool pit, whatever, and when I go home, if I ain't still communicating with God, and when I'm going through something, like, God, get me through this, or I ain't talking to him like I'm talking to y'all, it don't matter how many days I go to church. But anyway,
the thing is, we in church now.
The church is
anything in church, we're programmed to go into that
two
building.
Or more gather,
the
church is the people, not the building.
But we were programmed and we switched it to the building. You know what I'm saying? And I had no conversation, and I got a preacher friend. We was talking a couple weeks ago, and I told him, I said, I think Christians are some of the most selfish people. And he was like, what you mean? I'm like, what I'm building right now, when I die, what I told y'all I'm worried about, what they gonna say I did in 100 years, right?
Right.
That ain't got nothing to do if I go to heaven or hell.
That's true.
But most Christians ain't building nothing, ain't doing nothing, ain't providing nothing, only worried about where they gonna go when they die. That's it. That's selfish to me.
That's so deep.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I had this talk with my grandmother and my mother, because they deep religion. I'm talking all this, but my mama right now probably throw some oil on me for saying what I'm saying. Like, we had these conversations, but I'll be real with it. I used to be scared to talk to her about that, but I had to live in my truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more I learned about Black history, the less I was into church. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I realized that was beaten to us. That was this, that was that. Not knocking the Bible, not saying that there's not good stuff in the Bible, but how do we become what we are? That's the problem I got. Not the Bible per se. You know what I'm saying? You can find good and bad in everything. But once I learned that we were forced and beat into that, I don't want no parts of that.
The same cross that's hanging up in your church is the one that they put in front of the yard that was burning after they hung your husband. Or your auntie, or your grandma, or your great grandparents.
A lot of us got hung after church. That was the thing. After church, they would call it a picnic. You know what I'm saying? Like after church, they would go to the town hang.
Town hang.
Like that was a thing.
Kids would be there. The dogs.
There's pictures of that stuff. Bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I told my mom, I said, Mama used to whoop us if we didn't want to go to church. Grandma used to whoop you if you didn't want to go to church. Great grandma used to whoop her if she didn't want to go to church, and the slave owner used to whoop them if they didn't want to go to church. They passed on from the slave owners to this day still. And you still got parents that'll whoop a kid if they don't want to go to church, or you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't realize that you doing what the slave master did. Like a lot of things that we do is passed on to us, and we gotta break that. And we can't be scared to break that.
Right.
You know, because I used to be scared. Like even when I started thinking like that, I ain't gonna tell my mama that, because she said I get struck by lightning. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't question God. You don't question it. And I started thinking like, well, if I can't question you, I don't really want to rock with you, because if we real, I should be able to ask you questions.
If I don't question things, how am I gonna be able to
understand it?
That's programming though, bro, because they was programmed like that. She whipped me because she was whipped. Like everything was passed on.
That's why in the Bible when they say and I'm not saying, I'm not taking up from the word, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so much truth in the Bible. A lot of good. The Bible is Black history.
I have to be real.
It is Black history. It's a lot of Black history.
So I'm going to be real. Yeah. Only thing I read in the Bible is what my mom made me read, Psalm 93. That's the only thing I know. So I don't even pretend to know it, but I'm saying, and that's what I'm saying, it's good and bad and everything. Right. So I'm never knocking it. Right. But how did I become a Christian? Not the Bible. I ain't even talking about the Bible. How did we become this religion?
Yeah.
It was beaten to us.
That's true.
That's just a fact.
They made us believe
that. It's just a fact. It's not even nothing taken from.
They controlled us with it too.
And they still is today. Still is today. Yeah, continue. I mean, I don't even know if we done went off subject or whatever. We just going.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, we chopping it up, but at the same time, whatever kids or the youth that's listening to this, they getting history now.
Yeah.
And they still teaching them something.
These kids feel it like, I'm precious to go to church. I'm precious. I had kids tell me about these programs that I'm still teaming up with or whatever. It's cool, but they make us read like a lot of these kids don't want that. I didn't want that when I was young. When you force it on me, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's bad, but a kid getting forced on anything they don't want. They want stuff that they just want to do.
Nobody does.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It ain't gonna resonate.
It ain't gonna resonate the same way. So we're not doing that. I'm not having no program like that. And if you if you got a problem with that, we don't got to do no business. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do your good over there, I do my good. But you're not gonna make me conform to my ideals and me touching the kids that I'm going after, because you can't. I just tell people all the time, they can't. I can talk the way I want to on social media and all that, because for one, I'm never disrespectful. I'm always stand on truth, even if it hurts you. I tell people all the time, tell me where I'm lying at. If it hurts your feelings, that's something you got to deal with. But if I'm lying, you can correct me if I'm lying. Right. But if it's just something that you don't like and it hurts your feelings, that's something you got to deal with. Right. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hurt, stroke your feelings. I'm just trying to tell the truth. If you don't like that, you got to deal with that. So,
some people, they set in their ways, man. So a
you
lot of stuff when the truth, it's crazy, because it's like when the truth come out about a lot of stuff, a lot of people look at you like you crazy because they believe the lies for so long. The lies became their truth.
I'm gonna say the lie is their truth though. They don't even think it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like they just
they looking at you crazy for not believing, and I'm looking at them the same way. Like,
the devil got into you.
You don't want this information? This new information I'm giving you. You don't want it, like, man. You know.
But it's all systematic, man, and that's why I start out with the book. I say it's everything that happened to our community is systematically, but we can't just say that and just let it be, because it's set up systematically, but now it's just in cruise control, because we're just doing we doing it for the system now. We're not even fighting back against it. We're not even doing nothing, and that's why I started with the chickens and all that, because I say in 2 years, my personal goal in 2 years, I will not go to HEB unless I need to. I got greens and cabbage right now in my backyard. I got eggs. We got the seafood business. We go to the matter of fact, we're going next Wednesday, and that's gonna be at the House of Resource too. You can come get fresh feed, the seafood and stuff. So, like I told my team, I said if all the stores close down now, we're gonna have eggs and seafood for sure, and whatever's in the garden. But we gotta think like that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't feed myself for a long period of time, but just the fact that in my mind, I know in a couple of years, I won't be going to the stores. Got me tapping in with people with meat chickens. Got me tapping in with people with cows, and just got me tapping in with everybody that do that, because okay, this is the circle I need if I'm going to accomplish that goal.
I want to say this, especially for the youth, man, and just anybody who listening, but for the youngsters, for sure, man. Like if y'all never tapped into the Black Wall Street, tap into it.
Yeah.
And I want to say this as well. Like, a lot of times we say, man, the Black Wall Street, we can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can, but just by what you saying about, creating a space for yourself where you can feed yourself, where you don't have to depend on these other people. The Black Wall Street has to start in us first.
Yeah.
Then once it starts in us, then it's gonna come out, because everybody gonna start communicating on that same level. That energy gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the Black Wall Street got to start in us first.
It's all mindset.
Yeah, they got the new one up in Atlanta.
Yeah, I got to check that out when I pull up. It look good up in there too.
Yeah, I wanted to go over there.
That's why I said this gonna be
our version. We going, Brandon? You know? We going?
Yeah, we need to take a trip over there and check that shit
this
out.
dude always on the road, man. This dude always on the road.
I'll go travel for some knowledge.
Yeah.
I went to Orlando last year for the All Black National Convention with Dr. Boyce Watkins.
I missed it, man. You went? I didn't know you
went. Bro, it was like
he told me about that. I was like,
this year was in.
I sent them the links and stuff. This year was in
North Carolina,
Charlotte.
Right? Charlotte. I wanted to go to that one bad.
I did too. I had my ticket.
This year gonna be in Atlanta again. I think he said.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
I gotta go. Man, you need to go.
Let me know.
When I go, every time I go pull up at the Tulsa-Rilla, the Black House. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm so prideful in that, because that's a 30,000 square foot building that we bought as Black people, that we own outright. And my name is in there. And long after I'm gone, my name will be on the wall. You know what I'm saying? As an investor, dope, you know what I'm saying? And like the museum that we opened, it was like 8,000 of us. We raised $1 million in 1 month, and that's opening on the 25th by Tariq Nasheed, the filmmaker.
Okay, yeah.
So I love being part of groups.
Colors.
Yeah, the Hidden Colors. Now we got. Now we open up a museum called a Hidden History Museum. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Black owned, our black museums that we do have.
Yeah,
they're democratically ran or they're systematically ran. Like the one in California that I didn't go to, but I was going to go to, was ran by some LGBT Jewish guys. A Black History Museum. First time you walk in there, you see a big girl in some thongs. You tell me what Jewish museum you can go to and you're going to see a Jewish person in thongs. They so disrespectful to us. Bro. Because why?
Yeah.
What they going to respect?
Yeah.
You ain't never even heard about it. You ain't never even know that that's there. So we don't even take it as disrespect, because that should have been shut down soon. I seen that like a year and a half ago.
But how they gonna? But they ain't gonna respect us if we don't respect ourselves.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
We got to get back to that place.
Yeah, for sure.
To where we respecting ourselves, and our children are gonna have more respect for us.
Yeah.
And they gonna be more open to the direction we trying to guide them in. If it's a positive direction, if they see that we respect ourselves.
And that's the thing. If they see it, and I was telling guys about when we talk about the women following us, right? The woman ain't gonna follow you if you getting the same, your check and her check is coming from the
what
same person.
What are you doing different than the next man?
Because the
only difference is he gonna come with a bigger check probably, but he still gonna have a master too.
But he got a check, he got an institution,
out of there, bro.
He got resources, he got all that.
Right.
They look at our black. What kind of resources? What do we got that we can make our women sleep good at night, knowing that okay, these black men got this institution. Right. These black men can hire me if I need a job. These black men can feed me if I need a job. These black men got a resource center where if I'm 100 short on my bills, I can go to them. They know they can do that with the system.
Yeah.
So and I always tell people I used to get mad at us as a whole because I'm like, man, we don't fight against the system. But then one of my big partners, big homies in LA was telling me, he was like, you can't ask your people to fight against the system if they get fed by it, clothed by it, housed by it.
Right.
So even if a kid get killed by the police today, but she get on welfare, she get housing and all that.
Right.
She might go to protest, but how far can she really go? Because this same system that just killed her son is the same system that feed her. So she can't get too mad at him because I need my check on the first still. Well, I need some groceries, so I hate you right now. But when my groceries
go
hit,
still gonna be there at work.
So that's the dilemma that we in, my G.
It's sad when you look at it though. It's a sad
but it's a reality, and once you know that reality, it's about okay, black men, what can we do? That's why I said the House of Resources.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I see, okay, you know what? Well, I ain't got the money to just be able to pay $100 on a bill here or there. But what can I do? At the House of Resources, we're gonna have raffle tickets, $5. Whoever win get $100 to a light bill. So we find ways to raise money to put money back into our communities. You need money for your phone bill? Okay, put $2 in this raffle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's every Friday it's a raffle. Somebody gonna win. It's gonna be still people that don't win it that need it. But that's starting our pool of money. That's starting our pool of resources. That's starting something. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we
give them something to believe in.
Yeah, we might not be able to help everybody, but we start helping 1 or 2 people a week because of this raffle. Now, our community getting behind us because the House of Resources, they got canned goods. He feed the kids free on the week. He got after school program. Right. So that builds confidence in the community that they know that we got black men over here that we can go to when we in trouble. My kid get in trouble at school, I'm calling the House of Resources. We need some canned goods, I'm calling the House of Resources.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We need to be moved, or we need washer and dryer. I got a thrift store. Call the House of Resources. The House of Resources to call my thrift store. This family that's in need, we can plug you in. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say the difference in that for the people who listening, because some people might look at it like, well, shoot, if we getting it over here already, I don't need the House of Resources. Yeah. But this is the difference. This is the difference. The difference is this: them people will take it from you if you violate by being who you are. Yeah. But the House of Resources are gonna continue to give it to you for being who you are.
For being who you are. Yeah. And the thing about it, like I got canned goods right now, and I already feed kids. Like with my eggs and stuff, I drop out like most of my eggs not even sold. Most of them are for me and my circle and the kids that's part of my program. Then I sell what's left, right? Because I want to show them that this coming from me. Like I take them out there, you see my chickens, you do that. But they need to see that it's a black man that can do that, or black women that can do that. Like it ain't nothing wrong with these churches giving out food, right? But what black person see a black person feed them? We don't see that. We might give them a turkey or something, but like that's why I'm not a fan of giving turkeys. I'm not against it because it's always somebody in need. But instead of giving you a turkey once a year, how you gonna eat the other 364 days? I want to give you some game that you can eat every day, not just a good turkey on one day.
I don't want to bring you to fish. I want to teach you how to fish.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, or you do your part even if you can't fish. Everybody ain't gonna be able to fish. Okay. Well, you go out here to the water with me and you get the worms, or you keep this, or you run to go get my water, or you go get my food. Yeah. We all got a part to play.
Yeah, everybody got a part to play.
I was telling the guy about the real estate plan that we got. He was like, "Well, I ain't got no money." I'm like, "Bro, you the construction guy. Your work is the money. So let the people with the money get it. But even if we buy the property and we ain't got the construction guy, we in trouble.
Right.
So your resources is what you do. So it's your equity inside the company right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got to realize everything ain't about money. It's about knowledge. It's about the resources. You know what I'm saying? Like with Brandon, he hit me and I still ain't even took advantage of that. But that's when he hit me, he was like, bro, you on Spotify? You don't do it? I'm like, nah, I'm just recording it and plugging
like,
it.
dog,
I ain't even into that. He was like, boom. He sent me, boom, boom. Here, go to her. All you gotta do is download it, this and that. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about that. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he gave me information. I knew you can load it to Spotify, and I still haven't did it. I need to get on the job.
Hey man,
the fact that he just gave me the game like that, like, go do it. You know what I'm
saying?
Not to cut your wisdom, but man, I know where you're going. We were just talking about that on one of the podcasts where
entrepreneurship.
We was talking about how people will tell you quick, like, I hate when people say, like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing good over, I'm getting this, man. Yeah. I'm coming up right here, I'm doing this, look how much money I got. They'll tell you that, and they sitting right next to you, but they won't tell you how you can get it.
Yeah.
Tell me how I can get that too.
Yeah.
And don't just say, oh yeah, just go buy a couple of this and that, and then you good. Nate, walk me through the steps, bro.
That's that scarcity
so I
mindset.
can get it too.
That's that scarcity
You feel like I'm gonna come up and do more better than you. Instead, we can both come up together and
it's not
do
gonna
good.
run out.
And
it's more.
That's the main thing about the house of resource. We're gonna show that that's not a house that I bought for me to make money. Everybody that walk through there, we're gonna make money together. And we gotta show that that's the power. You know what I'm saying? Like it's power in, like, okay, like you said, but I've been trying to get you on my podcast, right? How many dudes will be in their feelings and, well, he ain't came on my podcast, but now he asked me to come on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, just weird energy for no reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we gotta stop that, bro. Like, I ain't never took a slight because he ain't never showed me number 1,000 since the day I met him. He done pulled up and spent money. He done sent money. He stuff he ain't gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's never been a thought, but I know people that will think like that.
That's true.
Like,
for sure.
He asked me to come sit down on his podcast. I've been asking him for 6 months to be on mine.
Leave you
I
on
ain't messing with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, we gotta get past that. We gotta get past that. We got grown men.
And when I see them, I don't even know they have an issue with me, and I'm still on some love shit. And they kind of shady. I'm like,
where that shit come from?
I ain't even gonna bring it up. You
already know what it is. But at the end of the day, man, you know, we gotta look at it like this, man. Like, people dealing with life.
Yeah.
We still all dealing with life. Every last one of us dealing with life. So I don't know what you going through over here when you can't get back with me at a certain time or you can't show up at a certain time I want to. I got to respect the fact that you might be going through something because next week it might be me who can't show up.
Yeah. Or just go off the person with the energy the person gave to me.
We don't know what a person did.
I could never go off nothing but the energy he done gave me is 1,000. So if he never came on the podcast, we still solid because the energy is solid.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Like
we got to get out our emotions and our feelings.
Right.
And that's why we big into churching and voting because it's hope and pray. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really got to put no real work in. If I hope and pray, it'll work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we got to put in real work and we got to do and we got to have understanding.
Right.
And that's what I stopped really getting upset with other people when I started understanding.
Right.
Like, I don't know y'all full background, like from young on up, right? But I done told y'all a quick thing about mine. So we can look at this microphone, all three of us, and see the microphone as something different because of our life experiences.
Right.
But normally if you tell me, well, that ain't no microphone, that's something else. My first, man, you dumb, you stupid, you out of there. Instead of judging him like that, next I'm like, okay, why did he see something else? What in his life makes him see something different than what I see? That understanding instead of that attacking. You know what I'm saying? And that's all part of us learning how to deal with each other, especially as men. We got to learn how to, you know what I'm saying, deal with each other. And I get weird texts from other people I try to do business with. One day I was sick, guy blowing my phone up. My business partner told him, man, Tony's sick.
Right.
He texted me. I know that you sick. Woo, 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 woo. So I ain't reply. He hit me back a little bit later. With girl texts, like I ain't hit him back since, and that was me and him could have did some solid business. But he in his emotions that I ain't hitting him back soon. That he asked for. Soon he asked for something. I ain't hit him right back. Yeah. And the thing he was asking for was a discount at my thrift store. Yeah. First of all, I'm sick. Second of all, why are you calling a black man you trying to empower and asking me to go down on a price
But you
at a
won't do
thrift
that
store?
but you won't go to
cheap
them.
as hell.
You won't go to them Asians and do that.
Yeah, you don't go to
them Indians and do
but
that.
But you acting like, well, I'm
Yeah.
trying to do business with you. No, you ain't, because you only coming to me because ain't nobody else gonna give you that deal.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So don't act like you doing me a favor or you trying to show love. You
Mm-hmm.
like, nah, I'm gonna call him because he got it for 200, but let me see if I get it for 120. You don't even do it respectfully. Like, I got 180. You go to 120. Like, you do it
cut it in
respectfully.
half.
Yeah, but you're doing it in the name of supporting me.
But let me ask you this though, since you on that.
Yeah. Now we gotta
Now,
do these. We gotta.
we talking
we gotta
right
attack
now,
it.
and I do come on that level when I say, hey man, I like your shirts, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got 120 right now. If you agree, okay, I'm gonna go on and do that 120.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be mad at me later for agreeing to me to do the 120? You gonna get in your feelings about agreement that you made, or you gonna
okay? Once we agree,
That's
we
just
locked
business.
in.
We locked in. That's
And like I
business.
say, it ain't even about the money at the end of the day. It's how you do it too. He was doing it in an entitlement way.
Yeah.
If B hit me and be like, say, bro, I got 120.
Like I deserve this.
You know what I'm saying? I got 120, bro. I need a washer bad.
Yeah.
So, because it ain't even about the money. It's really the approach and the entitlement that you feel like I gotta do it because of whatever, or you know what I'm saying?
Like
or,
you doing me a favor.
I think a big part of that too is honesty too.
Just being real. That's
Be
what
real,
I'm saying.
like man,
Just
I'm
hit me up
going
like,
through this, bro. This is going on.
That's it, G.
But see, a real person know how to accept that.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna bring that back up because that could be them one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody can go through
it. It's
it.
all of us. It's all of us all the time. It's me all the time. You see this shirt right here called Cash Poor Asset Rich.
Yeah.
I got assets. It's a lot of times I ain't got no cash.
Right.
But I got a thrift store. So if I just need some cash, I can do what? Go to one of my storages or something.
Mm-hmm.
If I need $1,000, I can go in there and grab something and go to the pawn shop.
Right.
But I don't. I work off like the Dame Dash strategy. Okay, like the last $10,000 I got, right? The last $10,000 check I got. Mm-hmm. In less than 24 hours, I had spent $9,500. I had bought another little piece of land in Africa. I did some other investments and some other stuff, right?
Said in Africa.
Yeah, I got a couple pieces.
Yeah, you're not about to just speed
No, bro,
past
no,
that.
hold on, no.
Like he about
You
explaining
already
temple.
know. You see how he was gonna slide past
No,
it.
because I
You
bought it a
gonna
couple
have to
years
talk-
ago, though. That's
hey,
what I'm saying.
You
though.
gonna
That
have
was a
to
couple
talk
years.
about that, buddy, because it ain't too many people over here,
I was still
especially black
processing
men.
it.
I'm like, that got a piece of land. You see how quick it caught my attention?
Yeah.
A piece of
So
land.
first of all, you're gonna have to
So
tell us
how
how
do
we
that?
can get some land in
How
Africa.
do I do that, bro? I want a lion too.
I ain't gonna-
I want a lion. Hey, the piece I want a lion on
Tony
that
get you a
motherfucker.
fucking lion.
You know what I'm saying? Put a
didn't do
lion
nothing-
on my
I didn't
shit.
do nothing special, my G. I got a big homie that saved up a couple $100,000 and moved to Africa. Him and his family.
Right.
Okay.
He
Okay.
basically a millionaire in Africa with
So
a
who you
couple
know?
$100,000.
Right.
So he just, he was into a lot of shootouts, this and that. So he was like, man, I'm getting away from America. He went out there. And as he went out there, even the shea butter that I used to sell, that was coming from a village right by the land that we bought. Like, it was actually an old woman and her family making that. You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
For real,
And
that's that good
so
shit.
when he said that, he had about I think 10 acres, and he had just reached back to a lot of people in the States. He was like,
Right.
man, I got this play, woo woo woo. So now I got some land in Burkina Faso, which I'm about to sell though, because that's kind of like a war-torn place. But and I got some in Kenya. But that Burkina Faso, I spent $2,000. Like, at the cheapest I can take right now is 12 to 15 right now, and I spent $2,000 on it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still sitting on it. And the other one in Kenya is the same place. He moved to Kenya because it's more English speaking. Burkina Faso more French and all that. So, but like I say, when we got it, it was like getting a piece of America in the early 1900s. Because it ain't fully developed.
Exactly.
So if, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I just sit on it, ain't no telling what it'll shoot to. And it's Americans moving over there and stuff right now, you know? So it was, I
That's where I wanna
ain't got
go.
no special
that's dope,
connect.
bro.
I just got a dude that
We
moved
gotta
out
take
there
a
and
trip,
he
though.
plugged in with the government
gotta take a
officials.
trip.
Like, he done became a citizen over there. Like, yeah. You know, and he's a legend here. JT the Bigger Figure. He's a San Francisco.
I heard JT the Bigger
Yeah, that's
That
that's
name
my
sound
partner.
familiar.
Yeah, he
I know
OG.
JT.
He
I
OG.
heard
Matter of
JT.
fact, Master P.
JT the Bigger Figure
Master
been
P
around
was-
for a long time.
Yeah, when Master
bro.
P was on
I
the
think he
West
used to
Coast,
rap.
when he
He
blew
used
up
to
in
rap,
Richmond.
right?
Okay.
He used to rap.
When Master P blew up in Richmond,
Yeah.
the first Master P shouted him out on that last documentary.
Yeah.
One of the first places he recorded was JT Bigger Figure House.
Yeah.
Tupac recorded at JT Bigger Figure House. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z. It's a lot of people. JT Bigger Figure, he's an underground but big legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he just kept it indie because he went to the Nation of Islam. So when he did that, he forfeited his deal because they started giving him the game on how these folks really doing this. So he started being looked at as the retarded one that gave up a deal.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But he stayed
It was bigger
independent
than that.
and
It was
made
bigger
money.
than that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But right now he got
Yeah.
trap flicks. He got some big stuff happening. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my plug for the land over there. It ain't nothing special.
You been to Africa?
We're going to talk about
I
it.
haven't been. I plan on going this
talk
year.
about it.
This is my first year. I plan on going.
We're going to talk about
You
it,
gonna go to
brother.
Kenya?
Yeah,
For sure. We're going to definitely
let's
all
lock
have
it
to
in.
sit
That's
down
insane.
and talk about it, bro,
Let's
because
lock it in.
yeah, we're going to lock that in
We
for
got,
sure.
but to finish that story I was saying about that 10,000, what I was saying is the 95 went out into investment. I had $500, right? I paid I think a light bill or something, and I went home and ate noodles. Now, how many black people would have a $10,000 check and do that
Hell
same
nah.
That's
We're gonna
true.
get some furniture, some rims.
You see what I'm saying?
Fade,
But that's the
hair
discipline.
done.
Because like
Yeah.
Dr. Boyce always say, you got to be willing to live a few years like nobody want to, so you can live the rest of your life like nobody can. You know what I'm saying? Like if I sacrifice for the next 5 years, and that's something as black men we got to stand up even in your house at your woman. Because my woman wasn't with that. My
That can
woman
make it
used to the
hard.
street meat. She used to
Yeah.
the Louis Vuitton.
Right,
She
yeah,
used
yeah.
to the
Yeah.
flights to Atlanta. You
Yeah.
know, like that's what she used to.
Yeah.
But this new conversion of me,
Yeah.
she had the no Christmas, the no this. Like this is like it almost ruined. You know, it almost ruined us because we've been together. This year will be 25 years, married 12. You know what I'm saying? Like that almost broke it because it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
we're not spending money on this. We'll go out every now and then. We're
Yeah.
not throwing away money like that.
Right.
But she used to when I was in the streets. Man, here, what?
Yeah.
I ain't had that
That's what
knowledge.
it
You
is.
know what I'm saying? I ain't
Yeah.
have that. So a lot of men scared to stand up and do that because the woman. You got to be willing to face your woman, you know, and
Yeah, that's what it
and
is.
stand on business with your
But
woman.
the thing
you know
is,
what I'm saying?
this is what a lot of men don't understand. A man with, that's carrying his masculine trait in the right way, man. Like when you stand up and you make those type of decisions, and you firm with them decisions, 9 times out of 10, she gonna follow you anyway.
Yeah.
She gonna
If
follow
she
you
don't, she ain't the right one anyway.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying?
It's
Because
gonna
what I'm
let you
asking you
know.
to follow
It's
is to
gonna
put
let
us in
you
a
know.
better place. I can see if I
That's
can
it,
ask you to
yeah.
crash out with me.
Yeah.
I can understand,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you about
If
some plays that
she
we
see
gonna
the
be straight.
things that you see, if a woman tapped into your vision, she gonna follow.
Yeah, she gonna follow.
with
And
no problem.
if she believe in what, because there's a lot of dudes that be wanting a woman to tap into their vision, but they
They don't
ain't
believe
about
in
shit.
it. That's why. That's what I'm saying. True.
Like, oh, you gotta give them
You
something to
don't got
really
vision.
follow
I
at the
got- I
same
gotta
time.
give you something to look
yeah,
at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta give them
yeah,
something to
for
really
real.
follow at the same
Real
time,
talk,
man.
yeah.
So it go hand in hand. But what I was stating is just the mindset of how we got to be willing. Like I say, when I was just pulled up in my truck, I was telling B like, I could pull up in my work truck. People like, man, I know you can afford a new truck. Yeah, I could, but I got a box truck and I got 3 other trucks paid for. I don't need. If I get a new truck, it's gonna be because it's a hot shop business or something that I need something that runs like 100. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I don't need one to make myself feel good or feel big or oh I feel bigger now because I'm riding around and something. Now, I'm the biggest person if I'm walking. If you see me walking down 31st Street.
Yeah.
Still the same Tony, the biggest you ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Real
and
talk.
that's
With $1 million in his
you
account.
know what I'm saying? Like, that's the confidence
It
you
was
got to
just
get
nice
these
out
kids
today.
because these kids get drowned in thinking I gotta look like this, I gotta do that. And I always tell people, I tell my girl, like, I don't care what Facebook or social media think of me. I want to know what is the real. So I don't care if people think I'm a millionaire. I want to know how close am I to really being a millionaire.
Right.
I don't care if you think I'm balling. I want to know am I really balling or am I really close? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, we worry about the care instead of what it really is. If it ain't really that, it
Caught
ain't
up in the
that.
cloud chasing
Yeah, it ain't
and
that.
the imagery and all that,
Like, you know what I'm
and that
saying?
make the kids. That's how they get lost in that.
You
bro.
gotta show them it's
get
ugly,
lost
man.
in that,
Our
yeah.
kids think everything is cute. Like I had an event, I had my guy. He do accepted tanks. You know what I'm saying? They flushing out. They out the your bowels movement. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had them talk to kids because I want them to understand. They were like, ugh. He was like, don't worry about it. Just keep eating. Y'all keep me in business. You know what I'm saying? But the kids, they gross the kids out. But they don't understand that man makes $500,000 a year. When he pull up in his truck, that's $2,000 to $3,000 just to pull up in the truck just to suck it out.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't understand that, but we'll be happy at McDonald's or we'll be happy somewhere else because that's nasty job. You know what I'm saying? That's a stinky job.
Yeah.
That man makes $500,000 or more, and he come from the streets. You know what I'm saying? I ran the streets with him. He's an older guy, but I ran the streets with him, and he got a job with the septic tank, and now he own his own trucks. He converted that lifestyle, and he tell me all the time, man, I'm trying to get these black men to do this and follow me. Don't nobody want to do it. Everybody say it's a nasty job, but these are the same people that's working on industrial, barely making it, And this man right here can change your life by hooking it up to it. Put your mask on or something if it's that bad. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's just one of the million ways that we can make it. They ain't saying that's the only way, but that's just one. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it right now. You know what I'm saying? $500,000 a year, bro. Yeah, I give me a couple of trucks and back up well, I need to connect. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
For real. You know, so
he doing him.
He doing him, but we got to make that cool. Just like I say, it got to look cool to our kids because no matter what we teach them, it could be the best game in the world. If they don't feel like it's hip, cool, or gangster, they not rolling with it. And that's why I went with the podcast, Wealth is Gangster, because all that stuff is gangster. That's the real gangster.
That's the real gangster.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff that you think is hip, the streets lied to us. That's why I wrote the book. That lied to us. You know what I'm saying? I was that person that thought, I remember thinking my partner that I'm burying tomorrow. When I was 10, I used to look forward to going to the penitentiary. And it's crazy. And that's why I tell people I understand our youth when they say they wild, they out of control. It might be wild to you if you out of that environment, but in their environment, they feel like this is my only choice. So when I was thinking that I was ready for the penitentiary, not because I really wanted to go, because in that world, it was like, okay, what am I seeing? Guys get money, get locked up, come home swollen, and get money again. Right. So that's just normal. So I'm like, okay, well, this is part of the process. I'm gonna get a little money. I'm gonna go get swole and come back out.
That's so like that was just the environment. You know what I'm saying?
And then you glorify when you get back too. Now you got the chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody respects you most of the time.
Okay, you ain't even really did shit.
You ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people, that means you got caught. You know what I'm saying? I went from thinking that was cool to no, you just really got caught. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all that means. You got caught. So we just got to change the narrative on the way we look and perceive stuff, man. So that's the main thing. Like
so where did you first get that information from? Who dropped that seed to change your mind over from how you was thinking?
I always had it in me. Like I say, my music company, I started when I was 17. I was knee deep in the streets. I had my first chicken restaurant. I was knee deep in the street. Like I had a lot of business, but I didn't care about them because I was in the streets, and that was the real money. You know what I'm saying? I had a clothing store over there by the barbershop. In the next plaza over, I had a clothing store there, early 2000s. People used to call me. I'm like, oh, man, my bad. I'm closed today. I'm in Atlanta at the Lenox Mall or something. I ain't told nobody. You know what I'm saying? But that was just me just having something, but I really didn't care about that. So, the first man that I really just heard really talk with power that made me like, you know what, I can go legit was Farrakhan. That was the first time I realized, because I always knew I wanted to be a businessman, but I was like, I'm going to have to go through the system to get rich. When I started seeing people early 2000, the late 90s, early 2000, we didn't have all this social media. So my mentors now that I don't even, some of them I don't even know, that you can just tap in with it by just typing in their name. We didn't have that back then, you know what I'm saying? So we was kind of like freestyling and just going. Like in 2003, when I went to 106 in Park, man, that was me and my partner with a VHS cam on a Greyhound bus for 2.5 days, the worst experience of my life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just imagine that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking, and then it broke down in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like that was and that's when still to this day, I'm scared of heights. But that bus trip, I've been flying ever since. I love flying. I'm still scared of heights, but I love flying. It's the weirdest thing, but I love
planes. I done got on a plane.
You know
I'm scared of heights too, though, but I done got on a plane.
But Farrakhan, I would say Dr. Boyce, all of them was the first time I realized that you can be a stand-up black man, stand for your black people, and still get to the money. Because I thought, like a lot of people still do, you could talk, you could be for your people, but to a certain degree, because you don't want to piss them off, because they gonna give you a check. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when I seen these men, I was like, oh no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
They going all the way in. But you see it like Farrakhan. His thing ain't about wealth for him. It's about the nation being wealthy. They own thousands of acres of land, schools. They you know what I'm saying? They distribute their own food and Navy beans and all. And he got hundreds of thousands of people that come off his tree. And that's why I'll be like, I'm not into any religion. But if anything, I'm a follower of Farrakhan because he do what I feel like other preachers should be doing. When I talk to these preachers, I'm like, I don't care about no preacher making money. My problem is all you do is make money off church. Like if you open up a shopping center that provides jobs and feeds the community, run it up. If you buy some land and you get number duplexes like Leon Valley doing around here, and you a black preacher, run it up. You housing people, you doing some good for your people still. But if your money only coming from churches, then I got a problem with that. Because now you just taking money. You got a big mega church in the hood, and why buy some properties and put some nice apartments up or put something nice up.
The money you taking away from other people to keep your business going as far as your churches or whatever, you taking away from them to start their own.
Yeah. And like,
instead of teaching them how they can use their money to start their own.
But like half of them don't even know. They systemize. They systemize. You know what I'm saying?
The church should be offering them classes for the members of the church.
Right. Yeah.
Financial literacy classes. Have somebody come down. Hey, if y'all stick around for another hour, we got such such.
And that's exactly what I was talking to some preachers about the other day. We got to do that.
You know what I'm saying?
And one day he was telling me, like, you aggressive. I'm like, why are you not aggressive? Our babies are getting swallowed up.
They aggressive.
Men and women get swallowed up by the system. The jailhouse is swallowed us up by the day. You got Michael Dean's shirt on. You know what I'm saying? That was aggressive. You know what I'm saying? That man ain't did nothing. Like, this system is aggressive. We got to be aggressive back in the way to combat it. Not out of emotions. Not knocking no marching or nothing. Okay, after the march, let's get to the table. What we gonna do?
Now what we gonna do?
Like, I ain't finna march, but I will open up a house of resources where we can start doing. See, that's my fight back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't finna do all that. Because at the end of the day, and I learned this about one of my mentors, because I used to be against buying prison stocks, right? I'm like, man, that's feeding the system that's housing my partners, you know, my G's.
Right.
Then my mentor was like, okay, so you thinking on an emotional level. Do you know if every black person bought shares into the prison system, we'll be one of the biggest shareholders, and we can go up in there, and that's how you can hostile takeovers. See, white people know this game.
Yeah.
You become such a big shareholder in the company, you got to say so now. See, we want to march and protest, buy shares in the prison system. Then you're gonna be at the shareholders meeting, and you ain't got to do nothing. They don't care about the people outside protesting. They care about the people in the building that own shares of this company.
That's real.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm forever learning the stuff I used to think. When you give me some more information, oh man, forget that.
Yeah, but that's a good way to look at it, because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of thought about that too. I kind of felt some type of way about that too.
Yeah.
Like people investing in the prison system and all these people locked up and they getting,
they ain't getting nothing. But you got to think about it. They still doing it. If we were still all against it, what's it gonna stop?
That ain't gonna change nothing. Because just being mad about it.
Because most of the people that own shares is what? Those redneck people that hate us, they want to keep us locked up. But what if they see 100,000 black people become shareholders and we show up to the meeting?
Now we got a voice.
We got a voice. So
and those things that's within that, we got a voice to help change.
And y'all can't just pass these rules no more. Now we want cleaner, we want better conditions, we want this. And they can't say no, we not outside, we just marching and screaming at them. We actually own shares of this, and we gotta say so. We actually can change it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't gonna change nothing by protesting. I'm just be real. And it don't mean don't do it, because that's a part of it. Like, we had a war on so many fronts that all needed. So I don't never want to knock down nothing.
Small piece.
I don't want to knock down nothing, but we got to understand. Okay, that's a small piece, but quit. But see, my problem with us is we do that's the end all be all. We'll go march. Right, we'll go march and do all that, and then what? Go right back to the same job that's ran by the same white people we hate. And I always tell this story. I say, okay, on your way to the protest, you're gonna stop by the dollar store, right? You're gonna get a big cardboard, right? You're gonna get markers, and you're gonna get some water and some Gatorade, right? So you just funded the same white people that you say you hate just to go protest against them, because they got money and all that. Donald Trump got money and all that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go pay him just to protest against him, bro.
So the thing is, man, we got to look at it like the protest is for us to be seen, and the action behind it is for us to be felt.
See, there's never no action behind it. That's the only problem I got.
That's what I'm saying.
If we have a protest and then after that we meet up,
so we being seen. They see us. They see us, right? They see us out here protesting. They might break it up if it get too crazy. But after that, if we apply action behind it, that's where they gonna feel us at.
That's scary.
So it's cool to be seen, but now it's time to be felt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's real talk right there, man.
Where did you start getting that knowledge from when you start going down this path?
Oh man,
because you wasn't always on this path from youngsters.
A lot of it was learning lessons, man.
Yeah,
a lot of it was learning lessons, just making a lot of mistakes, getting locked up, being in the streets, doing wrong shit, making the wrong decisions, fucking with the wrong people.
Did you have an OG pull you aside?
Yeah, I had some, but they was doing the same shit.
I ain't never had it. My
they was doing the same shit. It was one OG I can remember back in the day named Glasgow. He used to be like, "Hey man, what y'all doing out here, bro? Y'all out here doing this, y'all hustling, whatever, man." He's like, "Man, y'all should be in school." We like, "Man, fuck that, we trying to get this money."
That was the real OG. See, the OGs now make you crash out.
They try to make you crash out, or they'll send you.
Yeah, they send you on a mission.
But see, this is the thing. I want to correct you on that too. them not OGs.
No, I'm quote unquote OGs.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. What they
sure.
say is OGs now because
for
OGs
sure,
are teachers, man.
for
We
sure.
teachers, we leaders, man, and
for
we gonna try to show them a different way. An OG is somebody that's gonna direct you in the path that they don't want you to go down because they've been down
Better
that path.
path, yeah. Try
You know what I'm
to
saying?
get you to avoid those stumbling blocks and all that.
Shout out to my uncle Larry, man. He from California, man. He done been to all these different type of prisons, locked up, and he did a lot. He would come around when we was young, man, and I'd see him, and then I wouldn't see him for a while, and he'll come back again a couple of years later. I'm like, what is dude? In and out of prison, but he laced me up on a lot of stuff, and still to this day, man, we'll have conversations on the phone. He'll tell me, hey, check this book out.
Yeah.
Or he'll mail me a book, read this.
That's where a lot of knowledge come from.
Yeah, he be lacing me
Having
up,
to
man.
sit down in there.
Yeah,
That's some of the most knowledgeable people that's been in prison.
Oh,
that I know.
They brilliant. They brilliant.
For sure.
That's where all the talent at.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why they locked up, because they know that's why they systematically set up to lock up all these black men that's brilliant. If you can run a criminal organization, or if you can plot up a robbery, if you can do any of those crimes, you can run a Fortune 500 company.
That's that
We
cash
just
system
not talk
setup,
like it goes back to my story. If that guy that I met that gave me narcotics to start, if he'd have gave me stocks or something to start, that you know what I'm saying, and that's why I birthed the CEO Youth League, because I'm like, okay. Well, he sent me on a 20-year run of street stuff.
Right.
What if I could send somebody, a young kid, on a 20-year run of stocks, or a 20-year run on real estate, or a 20-year run on just knowing
Mind
that.
state, though.
Yeah, the mind. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Because I want to say this though, because when you think about it, man, like, and we said it in one of the last podcasts, I was talking about how my mama was a single mother or whatever. And the guidance I had was from street dudes. Like, hey, man, you out here selling this shit, man. Let me show you how to cut this, and let me show you how to cook this. Yeah. They was still showing us how to be men and push through, but they was showing us from their perspective of what they knew. Yeah. So they still showed us how to be men. Yeah, they just showed us the wrong way. Yeah. Right. So was they really wrong? Because that's all they knew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And at least if this youngster out here doing it, let me at least help him not get caught by the police. Yeah, got it. So I'm gonna tell him how to do it this way, or you know what I mean? That's that in their eyes, they was doing it the right way.
Yeah, because they had no information, and that's what is important for us. This generation, we got information. We don't got those same. What our mamas and the big homies went to 80s and 90s. What they didn't have information of. We don't got that excuse.
We got it now.
That's why I'm be accepting a lot of excuses.
Yeah, there's no more excuses.
I mean, you have talked about that before. Yeah. He's like, are you ready to do it or not? If not, I don't take it personal, and I see when we'll come loop back around to it.
Yeah. Right. Ain't no excuses. Like, we give ourselves excuses for everything, but when it comes to sports, like, that's the only thing we don't.
That's true, though.
And like last night, I told you I lost the pitch competition, but I loved it because I really won. Everybody in there talking about renting out the space. Everybody talking about coming to plug in, and all the people that was contestants. Before we even knew who won, we had said that we gonna break bread together. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we was all winners at that moment, right then and there. And that's what that's what I teach my kids, because I'm like, you can see a child, right? That's B team material. B team material. They ain't got nothing. Ain't gonna never be able to win nothing in sports, but they've been born to compete in sports. So even though they the sorriest kid and they gonna lose every game, they still want to compete. Right. Why they don't have that same energy when it comes to business, when it comes to learning, when it comes to education? Like, I threw that spelling bee. It had kids. What if I lose? Same thing. You got a football game. You lose, you get better for next year. Like, we teach them how to compete in sports, but we don't teach them how to compete in business and life. That's what last night I lost, but that was a good experience because I told you why I lost, and the lesson was, but I'm showing my kids that it's okay to win, lose, or draw. I showed up for an event that ain't quote unquote cool. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes when you lose, you still win.
Yeah, I won because I entered it and I did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just being
they parents ain't even taking them risks though.
Yeah,
they scared to take risks. I hear people all the time. Oh man, you do a lot of stuff. Well, I took a lot of risks. Sometimes y'all don't see the ones I failed on. Bro. Y'all just see the ones that turned out good.
Right. It's all risky, but and people are like, they talk about it's a scam. It's a scam. No, the life we live in now is the scam.
Yeah, that's a scam.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got that building, that's $300,000 investment, right? My investors and the bank told me no. I came back to my bank and my investors with the property. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to take those risks. And I've been telling everybody since I got it, a week and a half ago. it's sink or swim now. Like I jumped off the roof. I'm not rented or nothing. I'm either gonna succeed or it's gonna hit. But that's cool with me because that's part of this whole thing. I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? I can live with that. I'm cool with that. That's good pressure. You know what I'm saying? That's great pressure for me. And we got to show these kids to take those risks. You'll take a risk going down the highway with some drugs. You know how I mean? Man, I was pulled over one time with a whole thing in the by the motor, right? We had put it by the motor. We were in the old school Capri, so you know how you can open that compressor. So we had it in there, right? We get pulled over coming from Austin, me and my partner. Every time we see each other, man, we just laugh because we know we could have been gone. And we had the law pull us over. This fool ain't got no insurance.
Oh, man.
Coming from Austin, we coming through Georgetown. Ooh. So this is what we do. And we didn't even have no plan. He pulled him out. He pulled me out. He asked him where we just came from the mall messing with some girls.
The law don't play in Georgetown, bro. They'll pull you over quick in Georgetown. He said we just left the mall. He said we just left the mall, and I said we was just hanging out with some girls. So I guess it was close enough. We didn't say the same thing, but it was close enough. And then we ain't got no insurance, so we tell the law, put your lights in there, flash your lights in there, open up the glove, man, it pop up the trunk. So we let him search before he even asked to search. So that would let us off, because you know what I'm saying. If it wasn't for that,
made him comfortable.
He would ask for the dog to come. He'd ask for this and that. But he was like. Yeah. They let me search without even asking for searching. I know they ain't got nothing. He don't even know he could have had one of the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I take that risk, why wouldn't I take a risk on a building? You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't I risk this? Why wouldn't I risk that? Why? You know, like asked me last night, are you nervous about the pitch competition? Like, you know how many times I put my life on the line for hustling? This ain't nothing. I can't do nothing but win or lose, but I get to go home. If I lose in that game, I get pulled over in that game.
I'm
in trouble for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand we take risks, especially in the inner cities anyway. Let's take risks that's more positive, and you know what I'm saying, and more that can provide a better outcome.
So when will the school be open? Before we get out of here, I want them to know where you located.
House of Resources. You can find us on Facebook at the House of Resources. Wealth is Gangsta on YouTube and the House of Resources. We're planning for mid-March. I want to do something for spring break, so that's kind of like the week I want to open it up. And we're gonna open it up because, like I say, we got to do some fixing on the building, but my guy said it's gonna be $30,000. I said, okay, well, we're gonna come up with the first $5,000 to $8,000 just to get it good enough to open. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we have a big goal and we scared to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, let's take the steps. That's how I am. If you say we need $1 million, I'm gonna say, okay, well, let's get to this first 10,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the big board. You know, and there's a lot of times we scare ourselves out of that. So so about you can keep up with us on House of Resources. We give you more. As we get closer, we'll come up with a day. We'll be thinking about spring break week, but it's right here located. And if you got a business or you got anything, like we're going to have gymnastics stuff, anything that our community need is going to be provided there. Resources on down.
And that's exactly what we need, man.
For sure. Yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming by, man.
Y'all coming out, man. Hey, go to Amazon. The Streets Live Tour is on Amazon too. Get that for your teens, man. I wrote that for a lot of the teens, man.
Man, I love it.
But now I appreciate y'all tapping in.
For sure, man.
Thank you for coming on,
back once a month or something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely do that.
This could be a special segment or something. You know what I'm saying?
We have to definitely do that.
Update shows or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. Just let me know.
Yeah, we was just telling the dude earlier at the shop, like, you know, any man that's on the same way that we on, y'all welcome to come and hang out. You know what I'm saying? We tape every Friday at the same time. Just come. We can share ideas. You ain't got to be on camera. I might say something and you be like, nah, it don't work like that no more. It work like this. And this the contact. You know what I mean? Just lace each other up.
What's the best for the mission?
Right.
When we get together sometime, if you got an idea and somebody give you something, you're like, man, my idea better even if it ain't. Right. If you tell me something that's better than my idea, we running with it because the mission is all
damn, I wish I thought of that.
I didn't say it the same way, but you know, I kind of said that. You know what I'm saying?
We was just talking about that. I thought somebody on our team we thought was big vision and he was thinking small. Yeah. And I was like, damn, that's crazy that he even seen that because I was thinking so far out here. I didn't even see that as a possibility.
Right. You got to break it down, man.
But now I see through his lens. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay. It's good to learn, man. Keep learning.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all. But, man, y'all stay tapped in, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We're going to holler at y'all later, man.
We out.
Y'all check us out. Peace.
is logic, intellect, and reason, make you alert, on point.
Yeah.
Now, alpha wave, you're in the more meditative state, you can kind of channel stuff, you can manifest, and it instantly activate the right image in your brain.